So I guess we're finally ready to start installing some of this mineral wool insulation. I'm excited to finally get it out of our way. So let's see how much I can get up in the walls and off the floor. So we started insulating the master suite and making big progress on that, but for the last couple days, we've gotten pretty much nothing done because we just had this overwhelming window shopping experience. We decided that it was getting late in the year and we really need to get serious about getting windows put in and getting this closed in. We said we have to buy windows. We started searching, and I'll tell you, it was a disaster because let's tell the story. We started with an idea of what we wanted. We knew what we wanted.
Yeah.
Originally, this is the plan. I was going to have these beautiful wooden in-swing casement windows, just like in the Wizard of Oz. French windows that open up. That was before we changed our framing, but this is way back. That was the original house plan.
Well, first we wanted the tilt and turn.
So after searching around and doing my research, I found out that we're not allowed to have in-swing casements here. There are some available for like $4,000 or $5,000 per window, but nothing affordable for this area because of the Florida building rules. So we switched it to an outswing casement. And we actually changed our framing. That was before we had the framing. And so now we're doing simpler windows to keep the cost down. Just simple one swing casement windows. We thought we knew exactly what we wanted, which was also a wooden casement window with a push out feature instead of a spinning latch. We went and we got that quoted, and it came back, it was like $1,200 for one window.
Yeah.
Which was still way over our budget. $1,200 per window, and we have 7 windows that we need installed? No way.
That's way too much.
So we had to downgrade again, and we said, well, what can we afford? So we tried going down to a lower tier. We said, instead of push out, let's get a crank. Those are cheaper. Still, we were getting high prices. We went back and forth to Lowe's and Home Depot. It took us a couple days of going back and forth, and just trying to find something. We quoted all different things. We just didn't want vinyl. We're not buying vinyl windows. We can't do that.
No.
We did end up finding windows, and we settled on a window that was a wood window, which is good. It has aluminum cladding on the outside, which is fine. We can accept that. And they came out around $600 a piece. Still high for a window, but because it's wood and not vinyl, you expect that cost to be up. Because it's a casement and not
double hung or something,
the price is going to be up. That is way better than $1,200 per piece. So that was kind of a challenge. And I'll tell you what, there was so many more challenges in there that we're not even going to go into. Like the fact that we couldn't even order the sizes we needed, and it was a big mess.
Yeah.
We were literally considering reframing all of our windows because it was so difficult to find what we wanted.
Mm-hmm.
But in the end, we got it. And the good news is that they're ordered, and we're hoping they come in a reasonable time, maybe next month. So that would be really fun, and then we'll show you what we got. But we got all the windows for the bathroom, the bedroom, this whole area, and it's going to be nice to get those installed. If they come, hopefully they come like...
They said November, so we'll see.
Yeah.
And we've also been searching for doors, so we'll hopefully get those ordered soon.
Yeah. We're having a hard time balancing the cost with the wants. And that's the same thing with windows. Everything is... like I can't say everything, but windows and doors seem really expensive right now. Windows seem really high for some reason. And stuff is still fairly hard to get, so I think that's contributing to it. Anyway, so that's pretty much 2 full days of our life just on the phone, going to the store, doing quotes,
yeah,
and finally making the order. And so we have windows on the way. That's gonna be really neat. Now that we're done with that and off our mind, we can get back to work on the installation, and that's what I'm going to be working on again. So let me show you the progress. We got up here done. We actually got a lot behind here done. You can see I slid that over. We got some of the bathroom wall done. And some more over here started. So we're making progress. We also got up there done. And this wall right here mostly done. So that was 2 bundles of the installation out of the way. And I feel like we got quite a bit covered. I'm going to try to keep working on it. This room is slow because there's very few full stud bays, oddly enough. Everything is a cut. So every single piece I have to put in is a cut piece. And that really slows down the process. You might notice that I'm putting them in sideways, doing short pieces stacked instead of the long way like you would typically do. That's just preference of how I feel like working. Because since our stud bays are so unusual, and especially on the old wall, they're wider than a typical stud bay, it's easier for me to cut it to length that way, put it in, and just stack it up. It's a little more work as far as cutting, but then less waste in the end. Because when you cut off long strips from the edge of a bat, you end up with these long skinny strips that are hard to use places. So I like this method better. And now I'm going to get to work, but there's one more thing I got to share with you guys. This is pretty cool. So as we come into the entryway, check this out. Testing out a ceiling light to see how I like it. This will be the hallway lighting, and I think it's pretty awesome. Now, it is missing the glass. I didn't want glass sitting up there because it's just hanging from my clamp right now and it's not very stable. So I don't want to mess anything up and break the glass. But we found it. We found the perfect ceiling light for this hallway. This is going to be such a grand entry. We wanted something kind of grand, kind of nice, something that'll fit the age of the home and be beautiful without being over the top. and we didn't want a chandelier. We didn't want all the crystals and the sparkles. That's not what we're going for. This was perfect. Wait till you see the glass. It's going to look really beautiful together. I love it. So it's in the style of an old gas light. So it has like these little valves on it where you'd adjust the gas. It's obviously not gas. It's a reproduction meant to run regular light bulbs. That's the one we chose. Again, it will have glass globes on the light fixtures, and I think it's going to be pretty awesome. Right now I'm just trying to see how I like the feel of it in the space and where I want the location to be. And so far I like that location. I might move it a little more forward into the entryway, but I don't want it in front of the attic door or blocking this door up here. So it has to be set back. Once I get it exactly where I want it, I'm going to put some bracing up there and put an electrical box in the ceiling for that. This is perfect. This is exactly the style I want. Now, when I opened that box, I was a little nervous because it looked huge, and I said, oh, this is going to be too big. But I'm feeling it. I'm liking how it looks in there. It's going to be good. There's so many exciting things to look forward to in the finishing stage of this project, and we're not even close. We still have tons of installation to do, and then we got to move to electrical, and we got to do plumbing, and then we got to do wall coverings and finishing, and it's going to be so far out, but it's fun to shop for some of those finishing touches. It really helps keep your motivation up to get the job done too. It's just a little fun treat to look forward to. I've done just about all I can do for now on the exterior walls. Let me show you. So what I've done is basically fill all the way down to my electrical boxes. I'm going to be coming up to each box from the floor, so I don't have to worry about crossing through. I'm not going to do that. And as you can see, the walls are filled. Now up here, I have to reframe that, so I'm leaving it for now. And this is open because I will have a switch in that wall. You can see in the bathroom, we have the interior walls insulated. I'm leaving this section open because I have to put an outlet in for the bedroom. So I'm going to leave that open for a time. Yeah, we got mostly the whole peak up here covered. And now this wall we're not going to insulate because we're going to have a big door right here. And this is just the entryway and hallway. We're not worried about noise, and for a fire break, it's not going to make sense since there's a big door anyway. But I do want to insulate this wall going to the bedroom. So I don't know if I should wait or not, but I'm going to start maybe at the top where we won't be bumping the insulation. So I guess that's the progress for now. I'm going to start up here, see what I can get done. Well guys, we got 4.5 bundles of insulation installed today, and that feels pretty good. One of the things I think we should talk about very briefly is why we chose wood windows, clad aluminum wood windows. Because everybody buys vinyl, and that's pretty much the norm, but we don't like vinyl because vinyl is just really not great. It has a limited lifespan. A lot of people think wood windows are bad. In fact, every window person I went to window dealers, and I went to Lowe's and Home Depot, and they all said, well, wood windows don't last that long. They'll rot.
Yeah.
Total myth. A wood window will outlast a vinyl window every time. There's so many homes in our country that are 100 plus years old that have the original wood windows still going strong. This house is a mid-century home with the original wood windows, and they are nice. I mean, these are unpainted. They've been neglected for probably decades, and they're still holding strong. If I wanted to, I could paint those, repair a couple of soft spots, and they'd be good as new. So wood is superior to vinyl, so that's why we wanted wood. Vinyl is toxic to produce. It's toxic to dispose of. It's toxic when it burns. It's just bad.
It probably releases VOCs into your home.
Yeah. So we really just wanted to get away from vinyl, and that's why we went with wood. Now it does have clad aluminum on the outside, because that's just the only way this window came. If I wanted a solid wood window inside and out, it would cost us a fortune. Another thing that we can go a little more into is the insulation and the interior walls. In the past, everybody always told us to insulate our interior walls, and we didn't like doing that previously. In most homes, we don't think that interior wall insulation is really that important. The reason we're doing it in this home is because of a couple of reasons. One, we really want this home to be special, and we don't want to make any regrets. So if we can make our home quieter and more comfortable, I think it's worth putting it in the walls right now. The other thing is that this home is all wood. Ashley gave me a challenge with this house. No drywall. There's not going to be any drywall in the entire house.
0.
No drywall means that it's going to be all wood. So I think it helps to put the RockWool in the walls because it acts as a really good fire break. And if there was ever a fire in the home, it would significantly slow it down, big time, from spreading from room to room. Whereas if you had all wood walls, it is more flammable than drywall, let's face it.
RockWool is one of the best insulations for being resistant to fire. Like, it just doesn't burn.
Yeah. In fact, some of you guys know the code where if your wall is 10 feet or taller, you need fire blocking in the wall. which we did put fire blocking in, which is just horizontal blocks of wood. So the fire is going up the inside of the wall. It has to stop. It has to burn through before it can go further. And that protects fire, you know, it slows down fire spread. But a lot of people don't know that instead of wood blocking, mineral wool insulation, like this RockWool, is actually
an option you can do.
Is that, yeah? So you can just stuff some mineral wool in there, and you don't even need the whole bay filled. You can just stick a chunk in there. I forget the height of it, but and it will act as a fire break in your wall. So technically, I didn't need any fire breaks because we're insulating those walls, but we added them because it helps keep the 2x4s solid and from twisting.
Especially with how tall those walls are.
Yeah, and since we're going really slow, I don't want them twisting and warping, and it'll just lock it in place. But mineral wool is really awesome, and it's a fire break, and that's the number one thing that we love. And then the next thing is it will offer some sound proofing for the house. Another thing that we did that's not that important is we covered our wood. We actually picked up a tarp while we were at the store, so the wood is safe. I just wanted to point to that out so that nobody's saying, what about the wood that you put outside? So I guess the last thing to say is just that it's pretty amazing that we're mid-October and
third weekend of October, and we're still wearing t-shirts. I love it.
Except for when I'm working, just to protect my arms.
Yeah.
It's beautiful out. And that's why we moved here.
Yeah.
You want to add to it?
We've had a couple chilly nights recently, but overall it's just been like gorgeous.
And we're hoping the weather holds out. Remember, this is our first winter down south. We don't know what to expect. All we can do is look at the weather stats and kind of guess what it's going to feel like.
Yeah.
But we're trying to get this dried in, closed in, so that it's not like unbearable, but hopefully it just stays nice all year and we can just work happily.
Yeah.
So.
And also the property's drying up a lot.
Yeah,
the water's going down.
The rain has really slowed down.
Yeah.
From the summer.
Yeah, summer is the rainy season here. And once we hit like October, it just like, we hardly got any rain.
Yeah, let me show you actually. So back here, you see all that dark ground, all this? That was all covered in water, and now it's exposed. That's how far it went down. This is actually where you guys saw Maverick, our son, standing by the water when we were doing the well, getting this well tank installed. Well, the base in the ground, and actually some people were worried because he was standing so close to the water. But I told you guys, I mean, it was like, it wasn't deep, it just was wide, so it looked dangerous. But all the water's gone, and you can see it's all the way back there. The pond has receded that far, so pretty much anywhere that was dark is where the water was. So here's where the pond begins, and Ashley's been working hard trying to clear it off.
So yeah, I've been sitting in the kayak and I just go around the pond and I scoop up all the stuff and I bring it to the edge and I just chuck it off. And all of that used to be covered in the green salvinia, and that's how much we've done. It's actually like a lot of work. So in previous videos we've called this stuff duckweed, but then we realized it's not actually duckweed, it's salvinia. And the difference being that these leaves are kind of like hairy on top, like fuzzy, and duckweed is like a smooth leaf. And this is what this stuff looks like.
So that's all the updates from our house. We're making progress, getting work done, and we're going to continue to share with you guys, so stay tuned for another video. And until next time, take care.
Bye.